All right. Okay. Welcome to Thought Cops, coming to you live from the mean streets of Neo Chicago. I am Officer Kevin.
I'm Officer Grant.
First mic swivel going over very well. Folks, sorry about this. I forgot to bring my mic from home, and we're too poor to buy another one.
It's not funny.
Well,
I'm going to milk these silences. This is going to be the worst sounding, because it's like I have other mics. I have like a room mic. Like, this is a condenser. I have a dynamic mic, but it's like, it's a comedy podcast. It's funny when people fuck up.
Totally.
Sorry, I didn't mean to hit you in the face with it. With us today is Ian Fleming, writer of the James Bond novels. How is it going, Mr. Fleming? Are you still alive?
Fleming, James Bond.
With his own mic, too. Lucky you.
Well, I remembered to bring my guest mic from home.
You should have brought extra.
Well,
you know how forgetful we are? And by that, I mean me.
I was too busy writing the newest James Bond book, which is and she is a queer black.
Oh, I forgot that we got new James Bonds. Tell us more about that. Tell us.
We're doing a new take, and it's a queer leftist socialist BIPOC Bond. They're actually Their name is James Bond.
Okay. Are purple hair? Are there pronouns?
Their pronouns are Bond.
No,
James
I said pronounce.
Pronouns.
No, I misspell it in like every time.
Hold on. James/Bond.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's not go too far down this territory.
It's good to get out of the bit.
Yeah,
quick.
It's good to get out of the bit. You get into the bit, you get out. That's all you need. You don't need.
Well, let's say our guest's real name today, because his real name is actually Ian Erickson. How are you, Ian?
I'm doing very well. Thank you. I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on. I might be mistaken, but I think it's my 5th time on the show.
Oh boy.
Give me in the 5
I'm
I'm expecting Alec Baldwin and Steve Martin to
Alec Baldwin's going to come out of my closet and shoot you.
There's nothing in this, by the way, this gun that he's doing pretty well these days, huh?
Yeah.
You got a new movie coming out?
I think so, yeah. So this is your 5th time on the show, but it's your very first time on season 2. Now, Ian,
that's true.
Season 2 is a little more loosey-goosey, a little more...
less microphones.
We're actually... we cut down on the amount of things people can hear.
Well, the thing about art is when you play with the constraints, that allows you to kind of bend rules and sort of manipulate constructs to create something that is, a little more... It challenges the artist to rise above and create something that transcends the form.
No limitation but limitation. Bruce Lee, Michael Scott, Grant Mooney.
I love The Office.
What is that?
Forget it.
No, Ian, we're so happy to have you back on the show, and we're so glad that just by sheer coincidence, you also have something to promote this week.
Yeah, this is
timing couldn't be... I'm just going to interrupt you. The timing could not be any better.
And I'm going to interrupt you. The huge announcement... huge announcement. This is breaking news. You're hearing it first live. I will be putting on some would say it's a little tiny old comedy show at the Color Club on April 20th at 9 p.m. The show is going to be called Mind Palace.
Wait, hold on 1 second, Ian. What day is that show? What's date?
We brushed by that a little quick, but
let's back up a little bit.
April 20th. How else would you say that?
420?
Hitler's birthday, fellow. It's not even funny to joke about that anymore because now there's like people.
Well,
that
he
are
did
like,
that.
Yeah, well,
he did that whole.
He did a lot of bad.
He did that
things.
whole the Holocaust.
He did some bad things, but now we have people that are like, actually, that was good. They used to live underground. They used to be known as troglodytes, and they would just be little mole people.
Well, it's weird because they used to deny it, and I feel like the people that deny it are like, have they fully transitioned to?
Within some of the denial stuff was a lot of like, it didn't happen, but if it did happen, and it's like, okay, it's not really denialism, or the denial is part of the whole fucking shebang of stupid shit.
Well, I'm not denying this. There's going to be a real great comedy show April 20th at the Color Club that I'm hosting. It might be a one-off. The Color Club is like it's like just off of Elston and
it's like in Irving Park. I looked it up.
Yeah.
I never heard of it before, but very cool. I just hope I don't forget to show up.
That could be that's sort of the paradox of having a show on 420.
You're either going to get a lot of laughs or everybody's going to be at home with their bag of Doritos and going like, oh, I thought I had something to do tonight.
There was a comedy show tonight.
This is a very colorful venue, I do have to say. I didn't expect there to be actual colors, but it's a very cool. Do we have to pause? No, I'm good.
Okay,
keep going.
It's very challenging.
It's a very cool venue. They have upstairs for like a big theater thing, and then a downstairs with like a kind of a.
Oh, they are not kidding. You got. Hold on. You got red, green, blue, pink, orange, yellow. Hey, I don't care what color you are. If you're at the Color Club, you're gonna have a good time.
Yeah. So it's actually not going to be in. It's going to be in the smaller room, kind of the small like. It's a more intimate comedy experience and more intimate comedy room. The laughter is just going to pop. But we're going to have some stand-ups on the show. We're hoping to maybe have a little mixed media. I have some fun little things cooking up. I reached out.
Slideshow, that's popular nowadays. Slideshow comedy.
I think I will have maybe like a slides PowerPoint just to kind of say, because I have some ideas for what Mind Palace is or will be like. I kind of, it might be
it's called Mind Palace. Did you say that before? I forget.
Yeah, it's called Mind Palace, and I have some ideas for what I want it to be. It might just be a one-off if it doesn't go great, but if it goes really well, there will maybe be more shows. And I kind of want it to be like a little bit like. If it goes on for extra shows, I think it would be fun to have maybe like a back narrative progression of kind of like the caricature of a host that I'll be. And I also think that like the idea of the show is I'll go up and host, and then we'll have a comics, and then I after it's either going to be after each comic or after every couple of comics, we're going to put on kind of like a compilation of like some weird video YouTube stuff or like ripped from VHSs, kind of like my previous show I ran, but. The idea.
How about, what if Jacob Gregor is there and he just plays his whole movie endless content forever?
He actually gave me a lot of links for a bunch of really. Me and Kari were watching some YouTube videos he sent over of like some of these videos have like 70 views, and they're just like it's like some guy.
That'd be so embarrassing if a YouTube video got 70 views on it. I couldn't imagine.
You do that every week and just the same people each time.
Yeah, he found this video called. It was like Gazoon. It's I think it's Scandinavian, but it's just a bunch of loser guys just rambling about whatever. But he found a bunch of really great YouTube videos, and we're hoping to rip some VHS clips and sort of mix some compilations. And the idea is that we have ideally, I don't know how much. I'm not necessarily a great actor, but like the concept for the show is
that's not fucking true. We saw you in that movie, and it was so hilarious.
I appreciate it. I was just playing myself.
I did. You were, I think, the best part.
I think that was a very fun thing to be able to do, and it was very loose. So like we gotta like kind of own it and have our own direction with it. But ideally, the premise of the show is, I'm like this sort of like an influencer, or I'm kind of like a self-help guru, or down the line, I maybe have a guy who's like
you're the Andrew Tate for the common man.
Down the line, I think it'd be fun to maybe make my guy a little like to parody like kind of the manosphere influencer grifter,
so like an on cinema kind of thing where like Tim just like devolves over the seasons.
I'm gonna do the show is gonna be on cinema,
on crack,
cocaine, if crack was made out of acid.
Holy crap.
But like a little bit more like I don't know. I don't want to like commit to that yet, just because I'm afraid of like, oh crap, I have to make a character, and like, does that mean I have to come up with like a voice or something, or because that's all acting is. It's just funny voices.
People like turn into those characters, and then like you stop, like you can't delineate between reality and fiction anymore, and you're just sort of stuck in the middle in this lane where you just pedal to the metal, full speed ahead, just living in an insane alternate version of reality where just you're not existing on the same plane as everybody else.
Yeah, and like I don't want to do that, but I have to. And so I
gun to your head.
Yeah, well I'm trying to find especially with this first show, I want to make sure that I mean, it's kind of like a trial run or like a dry run to see how this would go. And so I don't want to, maybe it would be a good idea to make big choices, but I feel like if I make some big choices now, do those have to like echo and be a part of every show from there on? So maybe start small and just
let it sprout.
Focus on being making a good show and hosting a good show. But like the idea is we have these comedians on, and then we show the comedians and these people, because my idea was originally to be sort of like an L. Ron Hubbard type character.
That's good.
And have these videos be sort of like an auditing session, and have the comedians on stage hold two like soup cans while I'm like showing them a video. And these videos are supposed to like break down the barrier of like insecurities and anxieties that people have.
Sherlock Holmes, Benedict Cumberbatch, he has his own mind palace where the words appear on the screen and he goes,
Grant, imagine that times 4.
That's impossible.
Well, nothing's impossible when you have a cavernous mind palace as deep and rich as mine. I'm actually going through my mind palace right now, and I'm stepping on the redstone plate to open the door, and lo and behold, I enter in the lobby, the front room of my mind palace. And when in this lobby, there is a great big red carpet that you can walk through, and a grand chandelier from dropping down from the 30-foot ceiling of the lobby. It's that big, and there's a little man who comes out, and he comes out to greet you. And hello, Grant. Hello, Kevin. Welcome to Ian's Mind Palace.
That's nice.
This sounds plausible.
And may I take your coat, sirs?
Sure.
And you're wearing big, heavy coats, and it came out.
I'm actually comfortable right now. This is light, but also it's down.
But I insist. Let me take your coat, sir. And the little man takes your coat, and he.
No, I'm cold.
Okay, but suit yourself. And he takes Kevin's coat, and he brings it to the coat check, which is on the door on the left. And then there's a great the lobby has a door on the left, and a middle door and a door on the right. And which do you go through? And the left is coat check.
So this is what we can expect from the show.
This is going to be the show. I'm talking in front of the audience, and I'm doing sort of a that actually would be maybe that would be a bad idea for a show, but like
choose your own adventure, but it's a whole audience.
Yeah, it's like when the goldfish plays Pokemon Blue or something.
Yeah, basically.
But okay, so you in which door? In what you can look around you? You can go through the door in the middle or the right, and left is coat check.
Middle, I guess.
All right, so you go through the middle door, and in here is the great ballroom, and this is where we hold grand celebrations. There's thin wood slats on the ground, and polished, shining, speckly clean, and a great big disco ball is hanging from the ceiling, the 31-foot ceiling.
I was picturing more like a ball pit.
But that's a different room, and we'll get there
mind.
maybe if you choose the right door. But in the great ballroom, there's a table to the side and it has a great crystal punch bowl and several cups to drink punch.
Like a room of balls.
You might have to find it in the Mind Palace. But and then there is what else? There's a little stage where there's a small band playing, and they play something that you maybe have never heard before.
When you say small band, you mean like few amount of members, or they're little tiny bugs?
There's it's just a small amount of members,
like the White Stripes. But they're like a big band.
Two, but then a third person comes out and they start playing.
So like Nirvana, also a big band.
They're not
maybe like
unlike Nirvana, but they
2.5 is a small band in many ways. 2.5 people, 2.5 men. I don't have a joke. That's just
winning.
And then there is a door to your left, and there's a band. They start playing music that's very strange. You haven't heard it before. And there's a great big banner hanging up over the proscenium. And yeah, so there's a door to your right also. You're not going to explore. Right. You're not going to explore
the door on the right.
Okay, you leave the door on the. You walk through the door on the right.
No, I was just gonna yeah.
You walk through the door on the right, and you have found the kitchen, and the kitchen is a spacious kitchen with green tiles and granite marble countertop, and there's a great big Marvel countertop and Ant-Man. There's a little Ant-Man band there.
Kevin's going for Guinness number 2.
Guinness 2. And there is a great big piñata hanging from the 32-foot ceiling. And
in a kitchen?
In the kitchen. And there is a...
Why don't you turn around so that they can see you do the pour?
And there...
Also, why don't you tilt the glass a little? I don't know why you tilt the glass.
No, you don't tilt the glass. You don't tilt the glass for the nitro. You want to for the nitro pour. You want to for the nitro pour. You want a hard pour so that it kind of fizzles out.
Please continue.
The kitchen has a nice windows out on the right side, or I guess it'd be straight ahead of you because you came through the right door. And there is a grand arrangement of cutlery, and something smells great. And there are other appliances, and you can look around. And there is a door on your left, and windows in front of you, and a door on your right. And you can look around, and there's other stuff too. And you can do anything you want in the Mind Palace.
Oh, okay. That's cool then, actually. I don't know.
You seem like you want to move on, Ian.
No, you're in the Mind Palace.
How do I get out of the Mind Palace? How do I get out of the Mind Palace?
How did you get in?
How do I get out of the Mind Palace?
How did you get in?
That's how you got into the Mind Palace?
I was back.
Okay.
Which nobody will hear. Nobody will hear what I just did.
What did you...
They'll see me. They'll see me going like this.
Well, not on the audio feed, though. They'll just hear...
If you're fucking watching, you'll see it. I'm not saying people who listen will see it. Obviously, they'll see whatever's in front of their own two eyes. Maybe they're on a train. Maybe they're driving a car. Maybe they're on the toilet. I don't care as long as you're listening to the damn show.
And now the thing that smelled ever so good has started to burn.
Oh, that's... Shit. There's going to be, like, a bunch of people that get that, like, this is a bit, and then there's going to be like one person that like unsubscribes. That's just like, this episode, this isn't good at all. This is...
And we don't want you. Good riddance. Goodbye. Ian, please continue.
There is different bowls in the kitchen, and there are There's some smoke coming in the kitchen now somewhere.
Oh,
and
that ain't good.
Yeah, and so what do you do?
Is it something burning in the oven?
There is an oven. Do you go to check it?
Yeah, I checked the oven.
Okay, there is a burnt Christmas goose. The skin has crispified, and as soon as you open the oven, smoke comes out and you start to cough and hack away. And yes, you pull out a burnt Christmas goose, and so. And then the chef comes in. Oh my word! This is the chef. The Christmas goose is ruined.
Well, I'm like, it wasn't me.
Well, why is it? Why are you standing next to the goose then? And what's he doing here? And he points to Grant.
Me?
Yes, you. No, the other you. No, you. No, hurry. We need to...
Go ahead.
Well, there's not enough time. We need to prepare this goose for the big dance.
What kind of accent is that? That's good.
I don't know. I came up with it on the spot.
I can picture what the guy looks like.
No,
I know what he looks like.
Thank
yeah.
you. Quickly, we need to prepare the goose.
A rotund Englishman.
Kind of a fat chef.
But not like fat, like rotund.
Yeah, he's got a little... Kind of,
portly.
What do you do? We're staying in the Mind Palace until you guys either solve the mystery of the Mind Palace, and also this isn't what the show is going to be like, but this is what this show is going to be like.
I don't know. Pass.
I look around and I try to find, are there any oven mitts nearby I can put on my hands?
Yes, there are oven mitts, but the goose is out of the oven right now.
Oh.
You already took it out without oven mitts, so your hands are a little bit burnt right now.
Yeah, they kind of hurt. They kind of hurt a lot.
You can look around the kitchen.
Is this what it's like doing improv?
It's kind of. I feel like I'm kind of like DMing right now.
I was just
DMing?
I was just thinking this like a D&D.
Oh, like a dungeon master. I've never done that.
Well,
do y'all know that there's a movie? They're doing a movie.
There is a movie outside of the Mind Palace, but where we are right now,
we're in the.
I can't imagine a Dungeons and Dragons movie in the Mind Palace.
It doesn't exist in this world.
Illusion broken.
Was that illusion with an A or with an I? AI.
Ian, I'm starting to think that this whole thing reeks of AI.
The only thing that reeks is this burnt goose. Now hurry, let's get it prepared for the dance.
Okay, I grab a knife and I start carving the Christmas goose.
Oh, you slice into the Christmas goose, and even though the skin is burnt, it's actually surprisingly plump and juicy. You start carving the goose, and steam erupts from your cut marks as you slice into the breast, and you start carving out the wings and the drumsticks, and you're doing a let's see. Can we? You do a good job with it, and you carve up this delicious goose, and you plate it, and the chef is kind of impressed with your skills. Where did you learn such knife skills? Did you go to Cordon Bleu?
I learned it in the other room.
The ballroom or the lobby? Those are the only rooms you've been in so far.
The ballroom.
Ah, very good. Now, let's take this back to the ballroom.
Sure.
Do you do that?
Yes.
No.
What do you do, Grant?
What? Oh, we're two different people.
You're two different people.
Oh, what do I do?
Yeah, you're both in the kitchen.
I got a goose here. I got a goose.
Kevin has the sliced goose with the oven mitts.
He also has the microphone.
I got a goose here. My goose is cooked. Let's go.
Is that a New York accent?
I don't know. I'm from wherever this guy's from.
The Mind Palace? What's a Mind Palace? Is it just they're all from Britain? Do I have to be from Britain? I can't do a British accent.
We don't really know. We don't really know.
You can just be yourselves, but how would you act in this situation?
The same way I'm acting right now. Just
My hands.
Maybe you could
My
help
hands
your
full.
friend bring the goose into the dance.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Well-
I would let him struggle.
Well, okay, then you could stay
Maybe-
here in the kitchen and be a little Debbie Downer.
maybe you
my
could, yes.
favorite SNL sketch, which actually does exist in this universe. And now, what was your name?
My name?
No, the other. Yes, your name.
My name is Kevin, sir.
Okay, Kevin, let's go back into the ballroom and get this prepared for the dance.
Hey.
Okay, so me as the chef and Kevin head back into the ballroom. Grant, are you staying in the kitchen?
I'm just hanging out in a corner with a cigarette in my mouth, being a cool guy.
Okay, is the cigarette lit or is it unlit?
It's unlit for now, but I mean, when there's smoke, there's
fire.
it's fire.
All right, so you'll hang on the kitchen.
Well,
We'll go to the ballroom.
maybe you could just yes and help me carry the goose, please.
I'm more of a no butt kind of guy.
Well, I carry the goose by myself to the ballroom.
Okay.
I stick out a leg and trip Kevin.
Oh!
No, the goose! The goose! Well, luckily we have a spare prepared, and the chef whips out an extra spare of turkey, and it's not goose, it's turkey now. But
it'll work.
Yeah. Thankfully, I knew this was going to happen. For you see, I imagined it in my mind palace. And so now the chef is talking about his mind palace, and we go into the chef's mind palace. And so his mind palace is you're at the front door of what looks like his mind palace looks like a big chef's hat with a front door.
I like that.
Yeah, so
I like that a lot.
So do you go into the chef's hat mind palace? No,
I go inside. I want to see what's going on inside
Okay,
the hat.
so
Where's
Grant-
Ratatouille in there?
Grant is still in the kitchen of our mind palace, and Kevin goes into the chef's mind palace, which is the chef's hat. So you go in. Ratatouille is not in there, but you go in, and the main room. It's a little more humble. It's just kind of it's actually just one circular room. It's kind of like a studio apartment. But there is a spiral staircase up to a second level. And in the studio apartment, kind of chef's hat, you have sort of these round walls with some windows coming out, and there is this is good space work. And on the main floor, you have sort of like a little. It's actually kind of a nice kitchen with the rounded counters that go along the wall, and sort of there's a rounded oven that kind of goes into the wall. And there's a spiral staircase up to a second level, which where you'd assume is the bedroom. And it's the chef is welcome. Come in. Welcome to my mind palace.
No, does he know me still?
Yes, you're the
Okay.
boy from before.
That's right.
Well, do you want to hang out a little bit?
Yeah. What do you want to do?
Well, on my
Oh fuck.
Keep going.
Well, on my off days, I like to prepare cooking for what I will serve in my real life job. So perhaps we could maybe try cooking something here, and if we have a good idea for a recipe, we can try it back out in my real life.
See, this is why I didn't want to do this, because I'm back in the kitchen.
You're back in the kitchen,
and
and
just got a cigarette in my mouth.
you got a
and
cigarette in your mouth.
It
Is it
could
still
just
on-
be just hanging out?
Is it still unlit?
It's still unlit. It's
Okay.
look. This is the cigarette. I pulled it out of the mind palace. I turned it into reality.
That is the power of the Mind Palace, and you'll
I
be able
don't-
to see this
I
at the
don't
show
smoke.
April 20th.
I don't own a cigarette. Like one cigarette. Who owns just one cigarette? There would be no reason for it.
Well, and then the chef he was about to pull one cigarette out of his pocket, and he crumples it and throws it away. He's like, yes, that would be quite silly. Well, let's get to cooking. What do you want to make? Chef, what was your name again?
Chef Kevin.
Chef Kevin.
Oh, fuck,
Wait,
sorry.
that's something else. We should.
Chef Kevin.
I'm not part of the.
God, this is fucking hard to pass the thing back and forth.
What do you want to cook, Kevin?
Oh, beautiful. There we go.
We have
What-
lots of fresh fish. I just went to the market yesterday.
Oh, fresh fish. I would like to make sushi.
Ooh, sushi! And then,
And I ask, what was that voice that you put on?
"Ooh, sushi!" And the chef sort of puts on an accent that is maybe a little bit offensive. It's not.
Yeah.
It's a little culturally insensitive. And
I
the
got
chef,
a little bit of an arc from it, but it was, you know.
well, he says
I got a whiff. It wasn't like really offensive, but I got a whiff of something.
I'm describing that he's saying some other stuff right now that is kind of, and we're using theater of the mind.
Well, you're not racist. He's racist.
He's racist. Well, he is. He through what he's saying. This short when you bring up sushi, his eyes light up, and he does some rather inoffensive sort of. He says some inoffensive remarks, and he does some sort of inoffensive gestures with his fingers and his eyes.
You're not doing it, though.
I'm not doing it because I'm not that. But the chef character is sort of racist in that way, and so he is doing those things. And you're inside of his home, and he's saying, "Yeah, sushi. I know all about that." And then he kind of goes off on a little like. Yeah. It's a little playful, but you know you might be a little uncomfortable with some of the
he's
stuff
from
he's
a
saying.
different time.
He's from a different time and a different place. And so so he starts saying that, and he starts getting out the fresh fish, and he starts he starts kind of humming, "I think I'm turning Japanese."
Hey, and I'm sitting here like, does this guy know what he's doing?
Yes, I worked with Jiro from Jiro Dreams of Sushi.
And I'm like, I saw that movie. Were you an extra in that movie?
No, I wasn't an extra, but I've been to Japan several times.
Okay.
Yes, I was actually an extra in. Do you know a good friend of mine's Logan Paul? He was in Japan a little bit ago, and I was helping him film a video. A couple of different videos. There was one that he got in a little trouble for, and then there's one that he maybe didn't get in trouble with, but he should have, because I was telling him to do some very funny things, I think, of what... I have some funny ideas about Japanese culture that I was having him kind of run amok on the streets.
Is that when he was running around in like the Pikachu outfit?
Yes,
and shit?
you see in the video. That was my idea. And
I can't believe that this video came from the Mind Palace.
It came from inside my Mind Palace.
Is this going to be the character? Is this? I feel like this now has to be the Mind Palace character.
Well, this is the chef inside of our Mind Palace, and now we're inside his Mind Palace.
But he should also, like, the chef should probably MC the whole thing, I feel like.
There might be a chef, because another thing, an idea for the actual show, we'll get back to the
I like how we're just sort of like helping you practice. Just like, use the podcast. Just
maybe there could be a racist chef.
Well, I have a bunch of ideas. I don't know if I'll do this, but I think it'd be really I think it'd be really funny to like introduce the show with like a song and dance number, but like I mess up right away and I'm like, just cut it.
Or that's always funny,
yeah. Or like, because there's like a bunch of different. Because when I first thought of this, it was gonna be kind of like an L. Ron Hubbard type guy, but like I don't have because of the time crunch, and that's only the time crunch, and it's not because I'm a coward or I'm bad at acting or anything. It's just the time crunch. I was a little bit worried about I have a lot of aspects about putting on the show where it's like I don't have time to fully flesh out like a character or an idea. So, but ideally it would be like an L. Ron Hubbard type guy.
We're only 34 minutes into this show, so I mean, you have time.
Well, I mean, yeah, this is helpful, and I do appreciate the opportunity to kind of let the creative juices flow. But to have like, it was all about.
It's all about. This is how the sausage is made, folks. Y'all wonder what it's like?
Did somebody say sausage?
Okay. Yes, sir. Could I? Yeah. Oh, I know you're busy making sushi, but I would love a bratwurst.
Okay, one bratwurst coming right up. You'll have to help me a little bit with this, though. Oinkers, come in here. And there's a little. You didn't notice this because you didn't ask to look. But in the chef's hat Mind Palace, there's a little tiny kind of mud flap door on the side, and the cutest little pig walks in.
Oh, look at that, Grant. Oh, he's not.
Grant's not there. He's in the kitchen with an unlit cigarette. This cute little pig with the biggest eyes. He looks up at you and goes, and
I give him a little pat on the head,
and he revels in the pat.
That was a good pig impression.
Thank you so much. And the chef goes, "This Winkers, he's next up on the chopping block for a little, if you want a bratwurst, you can help me out. Just carve him up down the middle and use his intestines for casing."
And I look at the camera. There's no camera, but I pretend I'm looking at one. Yeah. And I go like, "Awkward turtle."
Like Ed Helms. Like Ed Helms.
Yeah, but look, so that just happened. So that just, from The Office. Yeah. So that just happened. Anyway, yeah, I go awkward turtle, and then I grab my knife and I stab the pig's spine.
That was a worse impression of a pig.
Well,
have you ever heard a pig dying before?
Yeah, like there's videos on PETA's website of people beating pigs to death.
Yeah, PETA,
awful.
what's that stand for? People eating tasty animals?
It stands for PETA.
PETA. That's pretty good. Oh, speaking of, one of the I don't want to tip my hand a little too much, but let's just say for Mind Palace, a certain Peter Griffin impersonator will be making an appearance.
Wait, hold on a second. I saw that clip, and I assumed it was some kind of cameo, and you didn't even get the real life Peter Griffin. You got some like knockoff.
I got a knockoff Peter Griffin, and I this will be a little treat if you want to see. I did get the real life Peter Griffin too. I got 2 Peter Griffin impersonators.
Okay, I gotta see this.
Yeah, so I'll be doing that at the show. But
also, like, the real life Peter Griffin doesn't have a monopoly on being I'm the Peter Griffin. Like, that's not even your intellectual property, No,
but it is fascinating that someone just. I mean, like the real life Peter Griffin, he is a good Peter. That is a good impression, and he does look like he nails it. But it is so weird to have something that's totally apart from yourself. And like the guy was probably like he probably made it like 20 years because he didn't always look like Peter Griffin. Like maybe he wasn't always fat, or maybe he just didn't always look like that. But he probably lived a good 20 some years of his life. And then it got to the point where someone pointed out, or he realized he looked like this character from this totally separate thing from his life. And maybe he was a fan of Family Guy or whatever, but it's like to have something created by someone else be so all consuming where it just totally takes over your life. And like, he's probably getting a bunch of money doing it, and like people love him for it. And he gets to go to like cosplay as this thing, but it's like, it's so weird to just like totally fold your entire life into the identity of a fictional character.
Are y'all familiar with what happened to his YouTube channel? Have we talked about
what
this?
happened?
He hooked up with the real life Lois Griffin.
He did?
There's a real life Lois Griffin and real life Peter Griffin and real life Lois Griffin. Like, I don't know if they were like a couple or if they were just like a partnership, like a comedy duo, whatever. And I think maybe they were like involved or something, but she took control of his YouTube channel from him and then just like didn't give it back, and he had to just like start over.
That is so unlike Lois. She would never do that. But that's also crazy too, where that leads to like this is almost like a movie thing where like your identity becomes totally consumed by pop culture, or like completely dwarfed to the point where you make a sexual and or like love. I mean, there probably wasn't a lot of love, but it's like a thing where it's just like, oh, you meet someone who also his identity is completely consumed by this, and by the laws of this.
Again, I don't know like the full details of like if
sure.
actually.
But if they actually did hook up or whatever, that's insane.
And please tell me they wore the clothes and the costumes, and please tell me there's a fucking video out there. It's got to be on Live Leak or something.
That last night was so amazing. Yeah, Lois, it was almost like the time when I went to Comic-Con and met a different Peter Griffin. I mean, that's something that. Yeah. So that's just so crazy that like by the laws of these two people looking like these characters.
Laws of attraction,
but also just the very essence of Family Guy has willed these two random people who probably would have never met in a million years, just by the fact that they allowed their identities to become consumed by an adult cartoon show that allowed them to not only meet but to fuck and then to like have some sort of relationship it's truly insane.
Well, hold on. I just want to say Earlier this year, I vowed that my New Year's resolution was to not do ironic Family Guy stuff. And
my New Year's resolution, penny Pete.
I lasted about
Penny
4 weeks, and I gave up on it because you know what? It's like it was it was very funny for a while, and I think it still is funny. But it's also like, does it ever bother you guys that like everybody? Well, you don't have the mic, so nobody can hear you disagree with me. Everybody and their freaking mother is doing like an ironic Family Guy thing now.
I think it's just I think what's really interesting about it is like last fall I went to they did a Simpsons pop-up Treehouse of Horror at a headquarters or whatever, and it was like a pop-up bar that was Simpsons themed. It was very lovingly detailed with like Simpsons references and jokes and statues or whatever, and I thought like, oh, this is really cool, and I'm a big Simpsons nerd, so this is like fun for me. But I thought like they would never really do this for Family Guy, and I think I've changed my opinion. But it's also like the Simpsons had that like the Simpsons shit posting, which was like bigger, like 8 to 6 years ago or whatever, like, and it still has echoes of relevancy, but like I think the completely ironic and like insane detached like shit posting of Family Guy, like it's not contained to Facebook, but it's like we've moved off from Simpsons and we're doing that with Family Guy now, but it's like a very different animal because the format of like the shit posting that the format has completely changed to where it's like completely detached from any sort of like the steamed hams thing had like such a huge lifespan of like all the different like memes of that.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
like Family Guy is like I would say a beloved show, but it doesn't necessarily have like moments like that. It's just like cutaway jokes or whatever. And so like we've moved on.
There's not a lot of like character writing or story writing in Family Guy that's super relevant. It's a joke.
They made the baby gay.
Well, they tried. Yeah, I know they tried later on. Like, Brian's dead. He's not dead. But it's like in general, the show is nothing but a joke machine.
Right. And I think we both, the way that we use memes or post memes or whatever, we're constantly moving away from however things were, a couple years ago. So we're moving away from that and changing based off of the most previous state of memes. But also like that kind of lends itself well, I guess, to Family Guy, which doesn't really have a format or like, there's not like a famous steamed ham where like people are going to move through the iterations. They're just going to
like compared to like SpongeBob, which has like very just memorable moments and quotes and stuff like that. It's a lot harder to pull from like Family Guy,
Right. And I think there maybe still are some moments or frames where they use like some Family Guy stuff, but like the way that Family Guy is like insanely either ironically used or just like completely like nihilistically detached from any sort of like meaning is sort of emblematic of like the current state of like shit posting, but also I don't know. I think there's probably some relationship with like the type of show Family Guy is versus The Simpsons. But it's like I think that's also the sign of like any great. Not that you can definitely be a great piece of medium or story without a good meme culture, but like everything that's had like the meme treatment of like Simpsons shit posting and now Family Guy. And SpongeBob, because everyone grew up watching SpongeBob, and now we're at the point where we can like reassociate it with like moments of our lives. The Sopranos, Breaking Bad has been big for a while now. Like I feel like these are kind of like the titans of like of culturally relevant. Like getting to that next point where it becomes like an all-consuming like thing that you can meme into oblivion and like disassociate into or out of, like that is like the next step of like that's like a transcendent piece of art that you've created. That's like a measure, I would say.
Anyway, I was killing a pig.
No,
God. You slice
Kevin,
open.
You voted. Tell us about voting.
So you slice the pig and you pull out its guts and you start stuffing little bits of pig into the intestine.
A man yelled at you, telling you not to vote.
Oh yeah, what's this all about?
Yeah, pretending like he doesn't already know. Yeah, okay, I'll tell the story on the show. So we have a new mayor in Chicago. No, I mean, I was busy killing a pig, but I guess I'll tell the story about what happened.
That's not how you make a bratwurst.
Grant wants me to relive my trauma so I can...
I just don't want to watch a pig get slaughtered.
Well, you wouldn't be seeing it because you're in the kitchen of the other...
Yeah, you are still in
You're not... You didn't go to the chef's... Yeah. You're still in the kitchen. Are you doing anything in the kitchen? Okay,
I'm the same person.
So
as
you're
I
in the
right
kitchen.
now.
You're in the kitchen.
I'm like a dream walker. You know, like I'm awake, but I can see what.
So you're
doing.
in the kitchen with the unlit cigarette, and a very flustered man
right here.
A very flustered man comes in through the swinging doors, and he has a little bow tie, and he goes,
"What?
Where is the chef? Where is the goose? It should have been here minutes ago."
I don't know.
Well, quickly.
Oh no! Fuck you.
Well, fuck me.
Yeah.
What are you doing here?
No, I don't know.
Get out.
Okay.
I see that. I just want to ask how come in popular media, whenever people are sleepwalking, they're always like going to the fridge and eating? You ever notice that? Like in every cartoon, whenever there's like a sleepwalking person, they're always eating. Like,
did y'all ever see the Mike Birbiglia movie Sleepwalk with Me?
Oh yeah, I did.
Where he because he sleptwalked, and he was in like a hotel, and he just jumped out of a window and just woke up and was just covered in blood and broken glass, and was like, how did I get here? And he sleptwalk jumped, and so he has to wear mittens to bed every night, and then wear a what do you call it?
It's he's in a sleeping bag, and he's strapped down. Yeah, that happened because he's a coward.
Okay, well, not exactly like the cartoons, I guess.
At one time, I think I sleptwalked one time when I was a kid, and I don't remember exactly what happened, but it was I think I had a night terror where I was falling asleep, and I was kind of semi-conscious, but I feel part of it was I want to say Bowser was coming to get me, or he was on the periphery of I had a small bedroom, but he was on kind of the periphery of the very edge of the wall, on the other side of the wall. And I just had this sleep terror, and I kind of remember feeling this fear. And then my mom woke me up, and I was in the bathroom next door, and I had taken off my underwear, and I was trying to flush my underwear in the toilet.
Well, hold on, in a different house?
No, just next door to my room.
Oh,
but I was just in a t-shirt, and I had taken off my underwear, and I was trying to flush it down the toilet.
Donald ducking it.
I was Donald ducking it.
Donald Duck doesn't sound like that. We've established this. He goes.
Well, the point is that you were walking around with your,
my
out, and your
my
t-shirt
ding-a-ling,
and your t-shirt on. Yeah.
So that was a moment of sleepwalking that I had. I don't think I've ever done it since. But what was the mayor thing?
Oh yeah. Okay. So I was kind of busy killing a pig, but okay. I went to go. Me and my girlfriend went to go vote. Well, I voted that morning. I took her to go vote later on.
So you're lying. So you're lying on a podcast. Oh, real good.
That's what podcasts are for. No, I was going to take my girlfriend to the school nearby to vote because that's the voting center. And a guy rolls down his window. Seems like a normal guy. Got a baseball cap on, white, middle-aged, upper 40s probably. And he just goes, hey, you guys voting for Brendan Johnson? And I go, yep, just about to. And then he opens his car door and gets out, and he walks in front of me.
Immediately I'm decking this guy. Just immediately, no, back in the car, beast.
It was weird because there was several other people around, and I'm like, okay, whatever. And then he's like, no, he's like, I'm from out of town, so I was just wondering. I was just wondering why are you voting for Brendan Johnson? And I'm like, all right, this is weird. And I'm just I just give him some I don't know, fucking answer because I'm I didn't expect to be quizzed. I'm just I don't know, better change. It's some dumb, simple
Back to Naperville. Back to Winnetka. Get away with thee. No.
So then I say that, and then he goes, well, what does that even mean? He's like getting in my face. Like, what does that mean? Like, what exactly does better change mean? Like, what do you? And I'm like, I just go like, I'm sorry, I don't have time for this. And I keep walking, because I'm like, any crazy approaches to you, you just go, whatever, bye-bye. Well, again, like, because I will say first, like, that morning I voted, and there was a guy, well, he had a sign for, like, Brandon Johnson. He's like, hey, you vote for Brandon Johnson? I'm like, yep. And they had, like, a nice, like, 5-minute conversation with the guy. I thought it was going to be the same kind of thing. This guy seemed friendly. He's like, yeah, you guys voting for Brandon Johnson? Yeah. But, like, the fact that he, like, got out of his car and, like, was, like, following us, and it was, like, really uncomfortable. And, yeah, I'm like, I don't have time for this. Sorry. And then we keep walking. Then he's like, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. And he starts, like, screaming behind me, like, charging up behind me. He's like,
this guy's from out of town. What's going on here, fella?
I don't know. It was weird because, like, his wife got out of the car to vote, and, like, he stayed by. So it was, like, very bizarre. Like, he was waiting outside. Maybe he already voted, but obviously lying about the fact that he was from, quote, out of town. So then he's, like, charging up behind me. He's like, you people have no idea what the fuck you're doing. You fucking idiot. And, like, I'm like, and then, like, he's just like running his mouth. And, like, I'm like getting pissed because it's like, you know what? Like, we all, like, you want to vote for your guy, go ahead. But, like, I'm just going here to do the same thing. And, like, and I just yelled back. I'm like, mind your own fucking business. And then he starts, like, charging towards me, and they have to, like, hold him back.
Who's holding him back?
Like, the people outside, they were working, like, they weren't supposed to be holding someone back, but, like, the people there, like, held him back because, like, he also, like, there's, like, the cones you're not supposed to pass, and he passed the cones, and, like, he got held back, and he had to walk behind, and he sat there and, like, waited like this, like, fuming. Like, this guy was, like, ready to fucking, like, fight me, because I'm voting for the guy he doesn't like.
And it's like, it's one, like, I guess it was a close race, but it's like,
yeah.
Is he doing this for every single person?
Well, that's what I'm wondering. I don't know. And I know, like, there's a running gag in the show of, like, oh, I seem to attract a lot of, like, weird people to have conversations with me. I guess so. Yeah. But it was so strange. And it was like, I felt like this was, like, beyond the realm of, like, I'm just kind of curious to see where this goes. Cause, like, normally, like, whatever, people get in my whatever face, and I'm like, okay, whatever. And that's part of living in Chicago, But this guy, allegedly from out of town, is, causing a scene, basically. And yeah, like, I yelled back. I'm like, go fuck yourself. Like, mind your own fucking business. And then, of course, that makes him much, much angrier. And then, yeah, he has to be, like, held back. And he's out there waiting by his car. And I'm like, the whole time, like, I'm inside, I'm like, there's a guy waiting for me outside who wants to presumably hang me. And it's like some, like, conservative nut job, basically. Because, like, if it was, like, he's, like, yelling from his car, whatever, go fuck yourself. But he kind of tricked me into being like, hey, how's it going? Like, give me the, nice, smiley routine. And then, yeah, this whole thing goes on. And the whole time, like, my girlfriend's, like, pulling my arm to go, like, a further in seconds. Like, she's scared shitless because this guy's, like, fucking, like, screaming at us, telling us, like, you fucking asshole, you fucking idiots. Like, what are you doing? And yeah, it was very, you know what? This wouldn't happen in my mind palace. I say that much right now.
Well, that's not very good, but are you finished with the bratwurst yet?
Right away, sir. Hold on. Let me get back to this.
This is like a felony. That's like, you can't, like, vote or intimidate and whatever.
Obstruction of...
like...
I know, and it's very disappointing, and it's hard not to wonder where else this is happening. And it was also, like, there was, like, young women holding signs outside for Brandon Johnson, and the whole time I'm like, what is this guy doing? So then, yeah, I did, like, tell the people, and it's like, hey, like, I told, like, a few people, I'm like, there's some guy out there who's, like, harassing people for voting for the guy he doesn't like.
That man's name was Paul Vallis.
Yeah, so, and, like, my
Paul Vallis.
My guess is, like, this guy was maybe, like, an off-duty cop or something.
Yeah, which makes it really scary because it's like
that tracks.
He could have easily had, like, a gun or something. Like,
right? I'm like, and there's all the rumors about the cops and stuff, like, who are, like, quote, going to quit if whatever he gets elected, Brendan Johnson gets elected. So I'm like,
nobody wants to work anymore.
Nobody wants to work.
Cops are quiet quitting and killing the policing industry.
It's these damn millennial cops. But anyway, so yeah, I told them inside, and like, yeah, like afterwards, like we walked, like, because we were in there for a while, because there was a whole, getting her registered was a whole fucking thing, and didn't even end up fucking working because we didn't have enough mail. So it was a whole waste of time to be there to begin with. So then we walk outside, and the guy's like, I told the guy, he's like, let me go out there with you. I'm gonna go see if this guy's car is still there. We can report his license plate. Lo and behold, he's gone at this point, which is like, my girlfriend doesn't want to see like, some shit go down, and I don't really want to get.
She doesn't want to see you beat this guy up.
She doesn't want to see me beat this guy to a bloody pulp, And not that I would have. I would have been self-defense, because he yelled at me first. No, I don't know. It just was a very obviously uncomfortable interaction, to say the least. And it was like, again, you want to vote for your guy? I'm not going to harass you, but like, it was insane. And like the amount of I don't know what word to use. I don't want to say discourse, because it wasn't even that. Just the amount of like panic in this city right now, that like everybody thinks the purge is legal now. Also like the night that he gets elected, before Lori Lightfoot's even out of office, everybody thinks like the purge is happening. I'm on my Citizen app. We get notifications of like, oh, carjacking, this and that happens, and all the comments are like, this is what you people voted for. You voted for crime to be legal.
Well, I live in the first ward in Chicago, and there's thankfully La Spada, who's like the DSA back guy, the incumbent. He won again, so we didn't have to do the runoff for him. But one of the guys who was challenging him was this guy named I think it was Sam Royko or someone Royko. He's like the son of he's technically a Nepo baby, but he's the son of like a famous like Chicago journalist or columnist or something.
Mike Royko.
I think so.
Yeah. He wrote a bunch of good books on the dailies.
Yeah. He was probably like, I think he was kind of like a beloved Chicago columnist or writer or something. But his son Sam, or whoever he is, was trying to make a name for himself, and he was running to against La Spada, and his whole thing. I kept getting mailers for this because there's a guy in our building who like claimed to be his campaign manager or something. But I kept getting these mailers for this guy, and I didn't know anything about his policy other than he was running because his girlfriend got carjacked in Wicker Park. And he's like, the community one fateful night, one scary carjacking. The community came together. Sam Royko is running to make the streets of Chicago safer. And it's like, man,
that sucks so bad.
I know, and everything was just about everything was centered around the fact that his girlfriend got carjacked, which, hey, I bet was scary and potentially traumatizing and totally sucked. But that was his only policy platform until I found out that like his whole thing was like, we're gonna get more cops on the street. We're gonna put smart tech on light, so there's more cameras, so that police have a better chance of catching someone. And it's like, that's not going to mean that they're going to catch anyone. Like,
no.
I got mugged in front of my house a few years back, a different place in Logan Square. But like, there were cameras at the place where like they could have identified this guy, and like not that we were trying to like, someone called the cops on our behalf, and we had to like talk to these people, and they gave me the number to call like a detective. And the way that we got mugged were they stopped us in this store. We were in like a corner store. We were trying to get something to eat, and they like were like I held the door open for this guy, and I think he saw me kind of as a mark, which is like, that's fair, like I was being kind of overly friendly. And then they were like kind of
never fucking do that again.
I mean, you should still be a decent person, but like I could have done more to shake these guys maybe, but they're like being like, oh, where's the party at? Like, oh, if you need weed or anything, like hit me up. Like, here's my number. And he gave me his number. And then we were trying to be nice and buddy, but it's like, yeah, so we got stuff we got to do. So we leave. And then I live right by the corner store. And so they like followed us back. And then they eventually like got our phones from us. And then when they had the phones, they were like kind of acting a little more aggressive. And then they ran off with our phones.
How did they get your phones?
They said they were just kind of like, again, like they were trying to be buddy, but like, oh man, my phone died and I need to call my aunt. Is it okay if we use your phone? And it's like, all right, man. Like,
No, fuck that.
yeah, I know.
So I know it's in hindsight's 2020.
Yeah, it's totally cool to be victim blaming. That's I guess we're doing that in 2023.
Are you all familiar with the a possible alleged possibility of a serial killer? I know that people think that they don't exist.
Well, there is one in Chicago, but let me just quick say
And then I'll
about how useless the cops are. Someone called the cops on our behalf, and then we were talking with them after they showed up. They gave me a number to like give a description of the phone because I, for some reason, thought that like it might turn up or something. I'm like, I called the guy a couple days later. I'm like, the phone. I tell the detective like, yeah, so the phone has it's a gray case. It has a sticker on the back. So if you see it, just like let me know. And then the guy was like, yeah, how did you get in contact with these guys? And I told him the story. Like I held the door open for one of them, and then they're trying to sell us weed. And the cop like he stops like asking about the phone or like anything about me. He's like, yeah, so did you buy any weed from him?
Oh my God.
And he was just looking for the quickest fucking thing to bust me on and like admit that I was buying drugs or whatever. And it's like, I didn't buy drugs. I didn't want to buy drugs from this guy. I got a different guy for that. And it was just so like, I was just like immediately like, he immediately started centering the line of questioning on me. And he was like trying to get me to admit that I bought drugs.
They're looking for someone to arrest.
Yeah, they're looking for an easy bust. They're looking to get their fucking quota up or whatever. And no matter how much money that you give the cops or how much tech they have to take people down, it's not going to change the fact that these are fucking lazy pieces of shit losers who have nothing going on in their life other than to just to feel powerful, and they don't want to. There's no idea.
You're a fucking high school bully.
They're high school bullies, and they're cowards too. They're not going to fucking go and actually like get out and stop crime. They're going to They're going to wield their power over people that they feel like they can, which is they're just looking. They're also looking for a target. Like they probably see me as like an easy target to fucking bust on some dumb charge. So it's like,
and again, like the whole idea of like the unfortunate reality of the situation is that like no matter you can have 10,000 cops on the street, you could have 20,000 cops on the street. The CPD budget takes up like half of like all of Chicago's tax money. Half. It's just like it's probably more. It's probably the whole fucking thing.
It's too much.
You could double that. Crime will not go down because like police do not stop crime from happening. They react to crime. The amount of crime that they have like been capable of stopping is like zero. Like, does it happen? Yeah. Dude, sometimes bad situation, gunfight. Do people show up? Yeah. But like 90% of the time, 95, 99% of the time, they're reacting. And you want to stop it from happening. You want for crime to not exist. You don't want people that are there to respond to it. And then their response is to like try and bust you on drugs. Like, it's stupid.
I was killing a pig.
You need to. You're stuffing it in the intestines all wrong.
Speaking of killing a pig, so there's a serial killer in Chicago. Have you all heard? Are you all familiar?
Yeah, I've heard.
Sort of? I don't know if it's like 100% or not.
I've heard some mixed things about it because I've heard that what the basis is it's happening in like, is it River North or River Net West, where they keep finding drowned like kind of young men, kind of like ourselves,
young men.
Yes, and they they're finding these bodies of young men, and they
I would honestly, if that guy killed me, I'd be like, thank you so much for thinking I'm in my mid-20s. I don't know. I don't know.
You got him.
So they assume that what I've seen a couple TikToks about it, and they think that like they're targeting these young men because like, you know, like they think what's happening is that these young men are leaving the bars drunk or whatever, and they're maybe being offered a ride somewhere.
So that's the thing that like I wanted to like scoop back around to, is because like people are driving up to, and apparently there's like a guy on TikTok that I saw a couple of his videos, and he said this happened to him like a couple times, but he'd be like walking home at night and someone would just like drive up and be like, hey man, do you need a ride? And he'd be like, no,
right,
I don't know you. And they'd be like, are you sure, man? You good? Like, you know, and it's like cars without license plates and shit like that. And it's just like something fucking like do not get in a car. Like, whatever level of inebriation you are, like, go fall asleep in a ditch. Do not get in a car with fucking
and they're saying that because women are kind of conditioned by society to turn that stuff like that down, and guys are like, oh fuck, I'll take a ride, dude. Yeah, sure, bro. And like then that like they're also drunk and also potentially like it's maybe not that car, but there's another car behind them that follows them and like gets them, like it's maybe an operation or something. And I've heard that, and I've also heard claims that this is potentially the work of the smiley face killer too, which I don't know if I believe that, because I've heard the smiley face killer is like an urban legend that I've heard back since like in high school or like late grade school, and it like, people claim that there are smiley faces on the bodies, or that like the smiley face killer is just like a serial killer who lives in your neighborhood, who leaves a smiley face at the scene of the crime, and also like they kill people and they leave bodies and like the pings on the map make a smiley face or something. Like there's just it's a very interesting,
like kind of stupid shit.
It's kind of stupid. It's like fun, like creepypasta or urban legend, but it's like it's something that I've heard about since like it's no way that it's like, oh, and now he's back and he's in River North. Like he has a luxury loft apartment now, and he can get all the guys in River North. But so just stay safe out there, Chicago. It's a safe space. Is April 20th Mind Palace show at Color Club, 9 p.m.
If anybody asks you if you like Family Guy or if you want to play GameCube, don't get in the car.
Yeah, you might end up on a podcast.
This guy's going after podcasters, isn't he?
Yeah, they're calling him the here, how about this? They're calling him the podcast killer.
Oh my God. I thought that was the algorithm.
that was better than what.
So Ian, before we get to our listener voicemails, where can people find you on their computer or their phones?
I'm on Twitter at Ian __ online.
Every time you come on here, you have a different.
I don't like what the one that I think I'm okay with this. It's Ian online, but with 3 underscores in between Ian and online. I have a little kind of green guy with a hat and sunglasses as my avatar, my profile, whatever.
Look for the green guy.
Also at the Color Club, April 20th, 420, 9 p.m. Mind Palace show. Love to see you there.
Go there and bring your buddies.
Yeah. And I'm also on Instagram. I think I'm just Ian Erickson on Instagram. You can find me there. But thank you guys very much for having me up.
Oh yeah, thank you for coming on. I'm so glad that we talked about gooses instead of Kid Rock. I can't tell you how much, I just did not want to fucking talk about it.
Really quick, I just want to say I do kill the pig. And I say, oh God, I thought he was a young white man and living in Chicago.
I thought he was a fucking cop.
And so the chef hears you say that, and he goes, What's wrong with white men? We got it so tough these days. It's so hard being us.
And I leave out the giant chef hat.
Okay, so now you're back in the kitchen with Grant, who has an unlit cigarette, and there's a server who's very mad at Grant. And he's shouting at him, telling him to leave, but Grant has said that he's doing nothing. And you have in your hand some crude bratwurst, raw bratwurst sausages.
Yeah.
What is that? What are those? Well, those will have to do. So come on, bring them out to the ballroom.
I go to the ballroom, I suppose.
With the raw bratwurst. And Grant, do you come with?
Okay, yes, Grant, you come with.
Okay, so now you're in the ballroom, and you put the sausages on the table. The server tells you to bring them, to put them on the table. It's by the punch, and the band is playing, and they're playing some kind of like old 50s music. And kind of an interesting kind of white guy comes onto the stage, and he has a red guitar, and he tells the band kind of like, hey, follow my lead. And he starts playing some of the most rockinest music you've ever heard. Woo! And it's something you've never heard before. It's very interesting music, and everyone's kind of going nuts. And they've never heard anything. They're kind of bobbing and weaving and sort of shaking out their little rumps on the dance floor.
Okay, all right.
And the guitarist starts kind of going crazy. He's going off in a solo, and no one's really seen a guitarist play like this. Everyone's there's a silence hush among the crowd. And so, do you leave?
Me?
Yeah, but either of you, what do you do? How do you react?
Well, I come back to the podcast and I finish it.
So do you leave out the door?
I've been the same person.
So do you leave out the door? Or?
No, I just that's so Raven back into my own brain.
Okay, so that's so Raven back into your brain, Kevin. What do you do?
I'm trying to think of another TV. I Malcolm in the Middle, fourth wall jump back into my life.
Okay. All right. Well, that was the Mind Palace.
Amazing.
And you can use that trick. That helps you memorize. You can use that. Just think of here's a little tip for you guys at home. You can have your own Mind Palace. Just imagine a palace in your mind and all the different stuff in the rooms, and you put memories or ideas or words. Big out of a Spanish quiz coming up. Put in estar, estoy, estás, está, estamos, están. You can put those in different cupboards in the kitchen, and so when you go navigate the Mind Palace, you go in through the ballroom, you take the door on the right, you do the lobby, you go into the ballroom, and then you go through the door to the kitchen, and you open the cupboard, and oh my gosh, it's este. It's the past, is it the past part, not the past participle, but that's the past, it's not the pluperfect, but it's I was, I am in the past. So you can use your own Mind Palace. You can have it any way you like, and come to see a beautiful show.
Yes, 420, baby. Let's make it happen. Also, let's listen to some listener voicemails. 312-788-7361, or you can always leave us an audio file by emailing us at thoughtcopspodcast@gmail.com. Hit it.
Hey, this is Brandon. I've called in before, angry about the condiments you put on a hot dog. Chicago style is the best, by the way. I live in downtown Chicago, and I was hoping ominously that you guys would interview me because I've lived in Chicago my entire life.
Ominously?
I love Chicago handshakes. I love Malort. I drink Malort and bathe in Malort every night before bed. I eat Chicago hot dogs 2, 3, 7 times a day.
What about jump there?
I have a gangway. Hopefully you know what a gangway is.
It's where...
I love the Chicago Cubs.
It's where Ian buys his drugs.
You name it.
Oh.
You know? I think you guys should interview me. You missed out.
Is that a question?
Sounds like a guest request. And we'll take those off the air next time. Thank you. I'm starting to believe this guy doesn't actually live in downtown Chicago.
Sounds like he maybe is in from out of town.
I think that guy was just asking some questions the other day.
Hey, let's make what is your, if you're not having I like a Chicago dog. What's your, if you're not having a Chicago, build your perfect hot dog.
You know what? I do like ketchup on a hot dog sometimes, but I feel like I've eaten less of them the older I get. And then sometimes when I eat ketchup on anything, I kind of feel like this is like a child's condiment. You know, it's so sugary.
It's very sweet. I'll do it in a pinch, but I prefer almost anything else. I'm also not like a purist where I grew up having ketchup and mustard on a hot dog. I think it's fine.
With mustard, it's okay, but ketchup by itself on a hot dog, no.
When I went to Boy Scout camp, there was on Wednesdays I'd always do cheeseburgers in paradise, which is just they were like for lunch. Everyone would come together and have a nice cheese. They'd have burger, and there was something they would have like Heinz in like a big tin can, like a big can of Heinz that they would open up. And there would be these like
do you scoop it out?
Yeah, I think they'd either scoop it into bottles, or they'd just like put it on a burger or like something. But they'd have these big cans, and the empty cans would still have like the ketchup residue. It would just be sitting out in the sun all day, and it would just smell so like the thought of like warm ketchup is like really gross to me. But like,
it's like a very unappealing smell, you know.
Yeah,
like
and
have some on your
especially when it's
plate
like kind
and
of
it,
turning
sits
rancid in the
sink for a
sun.
while,
Yeah,
and you're like,
it's a bit much. I don't mind it, but I do prefer like anything else. But you know, I think for a nice hot dog, here's what you do. If you have a gas stove like me, and you're fighting the libs, you're fighting the good fight with a gas stove.
somebody's got to do it.
You turn the burner on and you get a poblano pepper and you roast the outside until it gets kind of black. And then after you turn off the oven or you turn off the gas stove or you leave it running just a little bit longer, and you run it under the sink and you peel. Like peppers have this thing when you roast them, you can peel off. It's just like a layer. So, but it has like a roasted consistency after that. So you get the roasted poblano. And then meanwhile, you're caramelizing some onions, and maybe you fry them so they get a little crispy, or maybe just caramelize them. But you have roast pepper, you got poblanos, and then you maybe do a little melted like cheese, or I think Chihuahua cheese melts pretty good. Put that on a hot dog, maybe with a little mayo and sriracha, and you got a nice little spicy kind of
four sauces in a hot dog.
Yeah, I mean it's good.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So that's something that I kind of fuck with a little bit.
What do you fuck with, Grant?
I don't know, just whatever's like down the street. I have a devil dog down the street.
I've never been.
Cool.
Are those good?
Yeah. We'll all go there. It's like 40 degrees out. We'll all go there and we'll all get a devil dog.
Let's all go to the devil dog. Let's all go to the devil dog. What do you get at the devil dog?
Icelandic hot dogs are pretty good, and they have those there. But
Ooh, yum.
I don't know. There's a couple different ones. Shit, let me look up the menu.
This one time,
Kevin, you answer.
I'm
going to look up the menu.
Oh yeah, you haven't gone yet.
Oh shit!
You just said you like ketchup on hot dogs. You said that was your favorite.
No. I don't know. My favorite hot dog. I'm versatile. It's like I do like devil dogs. Like I like switching it up, but I do like the Chicago dog has like so much on it, and just the sport peppers, the mustard.
It's fun to eat, and the color, the presentation.
Yeah. It all feels like such a complete package. So I like that a lot with a nice poppy seed bun.
Yeah, this place, you do have to go here sometime. There's one that I get all the time that's called the Blue Demons dog. That's devil sauce, which I don't know what the fuck that is, but devil sauce, onion, sauerkraut, pickle, and spicy mustard.
Ooh, that does sound good.
Sauerkraut on a hot dog or any kind of sausage is phenomenal.
Really, really
It's
good.
like what sauerkraut, like I never understood sauerkraut before, and then like you gotta like with a bratwurst or something.
Yeah,
you
put on a
gotta do it.
bratwurst, or if you have German sauerkraut, sometimes they make it like, I think they like heat it up as a side, and they put little bits of like pork in it too. It's really good.
I just want to say, like, in the Mind Palace, this is what I'm making for all of us. So whatever kind of hot dog you want. Yeah, I'm making it for you with the pig that I stabbed in the spine.
Here's another good one. The bulldog. By the way, this is not spelled D-O-G. It's D-A-W-G. But
dog.
Batter dip, deep fried, chili, barbecue sauce, grilled onions, coleslaw, shredded cheddar. And then like there's the classic, like the Maxwell Street Polish. I love that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
You get a nice charred
Years ago,
hot dog with grilled onions, sport peppers, mustard, and it's just like a plain, just like very just
kind of
like,
spicy, but you get some sweet from the onion. Years ago, I was in, this is probably like 20 years ago. I don't know if it's still open, but my dad took me to a place called Danny's Okie Dog. And it was like this place when we were there. I don't know if they were renovating or if they had like a disaster, but like half of this shack was like just covered up with like a big kind of like plastic sheet that was like kind of billowing in the wind.
That's not good.
But and we didn't know if it was open or if it was at the time. But we went in and we got something called an Okie Dog, which is like, it's basically like a big burrito, and they have like, it has kind of like two compartments. Like it's like a burrito wrap, but they wrap it, and there's two compartments, and there's a hot dog in like each compartment of this burrito, and on both of them they have a hot dog and cheese, and on one of them it's like chili and cheese and hot dog, and the other one it's like hot dog and cheese and just like shredded pastrami.
Holy shit.
It was so unbelievably good. And it was like from a kind of like, I think if it's still open, it's maybe renovated, hopefully, or doing better. But like at the time, I was just like, what the hell is this place? And then it was just like this greasy, like, I think now I could maybe get halfway through it before just having to tap out from like heartburn. But that was a hot dog that sticks out in memory. Very, very good.
Speaking of good, let's hit the next voicemail.
Hey there, it's your boy Brandon Kirkman calling. I heard that you're having on Ian Erickson.
Yeah.
Oh, you heard?
And Big Buddy. I don't know if you all heard in the news, but Mr. Big Orange, that's right, President Trump was arrested.
Let's go!
I don't know if you heard about this in the news. President Mr. Trump was arrested. It's really crazy. My question to you all, Zwick can answer this too, but this includes Kevin, this includes Grant, this includes Ian, this includes anybody else who shows up.
We're here.
You could even ask other people on the Discord. If you could go back in time and arrest any president, who would you arrest and what would the charges be? Yeah, I hope it's a really funny answer. Thank you. Goodbye.
I got one already.
All presidents are war criminals, by the way.
Well, there's more of that voicemail.
Anyways, bye.
I would arrest George W. Bush
Boy.
for not knowing how to eat a goddamn pretzel properly. How hard is it to eat a pretzel without choking on it?
Now watch this drive. Have you seen that video?
Yeah. So yeah, I would arrest him for
Just the pretzel?
No, I don't care about the other stuff. No, just the pretzel. Yeah.
Well, wait till you hear about the next president in his tan suit.
Are you going to arrest Obama for wearing a tan suit?
No.
He thinks he's going to church. What the hell?
What about arresting Obama because he asked for Grey Poupon?
Did he do that?
Yeah, that was early. He went to like a restaurant somewhere, and he was like, "Oh, you guys have a Grey Poupon," and they were like, "Unacceptable! Oh, you're too good for just yellow neon colored mustard. You got to Grey Poupon like in fucking the Wayne's World. Grey Poupon."
That's you're arresting Obama. You're arresting the only black president. That's interesting.
No, I'm not. I said that you were actually. So
no, I actually didn't.
Oh well, you can say who.
I would arrest. Well, there's a couple good real answers that we could get really deep into.
I gotta pee really bad, so pick one good one.
Okay, I am going to arrest. Grant, you go.
You're arresting President Grant? Poor choice.
No, I'm not arresting Grant. I think
he didn't handle Reconstruction the best. He was like a formative anti-slavery.
He was a good guy. We do like Grant. We stand Grant. I would arrest.
I'd arrest the president of the frickin' Confederacy.
Oh, you know who I would arrest? I would arrest Taft for getting stuck in that bathtub.
I was also thinking that. That's a good answer. I'd arrest Woodrow Wilson for
he kind of sucked
playing the Klan movie for the White House. He was like, "Hey, this is you guys seen Birth of a Nation?
Hey, it's not literally a White House, buddy."
He thought it was.
He's like, I'm just asking questions. Just check it out.
Well, you're not allowed to tell a joke? It was a joke movie.
They canceled him.
Yeah.
They canceled him. Are there any other voicemails? That's it. All right, folks. 312-788-7361. Give us a call. Give us a ring. 312-788-7361. Or send an audio file to thoughtcopspodcast@gmail.com. We'll take your answers on the air. Also, support us over at patreon.com/thoughtcops. We got a lot of good stuff coming out soon. We reviewed The Last of Us recently. We reviewed UHF and Weird, the Al Yankovic story.
Are you doing a Mario movie?
And we are doing the Mario movie this weekend as of this record. And we are so excited to see it. Grant and I are seeing it together with all of our greatest friends in the whole wide world. They live close to us. And
some of
our greatest friends. And we're going to be soying the fuck out.
Yoshi! Ah!
I'm just gonna be standing in the corner with an unlit cigarette in my mouth, just like shaking my head the whole time. It was the same movie from the people that made the Minions. I don't know, man.
I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna kind of make my own jokes during the movie. Like whenever there's like a paratrooper, I go, "They fly now? They fly now?"
I already saw the film.
Okay, no spoilers, please.
Okay.
Bowser
dies.
Kind of pissed about that. You already saw it, but okay. Anywho, check that out. That's going to be coming out soon. Patreon.com/ThoughtCops. Ian, thank you so much for coming on the show, and thank you for walking us through the Mind
Thank you for
Palace.
having me.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
I kind of feel like you're mocking us. But
No, I am being serious.
Okay.
Thank you for having me.
You have a hard time being sincere. You're welcome. Oh, I tip my hat to you.
Thank you for having for the podcast for promoting and bringing on the show.
yeah.
Thank you so much.
All right, man. We'll see you
Thank
guys.
you. Seriously, thank you.
All right, yeah, for sure. We'll see you guys on the other side.
I did it. I ruined it. I did it.
Damn it.
See you, Space.
Wear my own fucking mic next time. I can't afford two, okay? God damn it. Bye.